Welcome back to Know Your Sizes Part 2. Today we're going to be discussing how to measure for your jacket size as well as your waist size and the length of your pants. So I'm going to show you how to measure your chest. Now what's important about this measurement is that it's going to help you determine your jacket size for suits. Now this is how I like to measure for my suit size, and I'm just going to take at the widest part of my chest, and this tape measure is 40 inches in length exactly, and I think, yes, I am just exactly at the full extension of this tape measure, so that means I have a 40-inch chest. Now when you're shopping for suits, you want to go a couple inches up from your chest measurement. So I measured at a 40, that means I'm going to be in a 42 jacket. If you measured at a 42, that means you're going to be in a 44 jacket. You measure at a 44, you're going to be a 46, so on and so forth. Now they do have half sizes. I've seen more recent times 41 jackets, 43, it usually stops there. Sometimes you can find a 39. Some of your lower sizes are not as common. And then when you get in the higher 44 and up, it's usually going to go in increments of 2, 44, 46, 48, 50. So that is the coat measurement. And what's important about that, you want to have the right size on that. Again, like I mentioned on the shirt, your coat sleeve hem should fall right at the top of the shoulder. If it's sticking out too far, it's the shoulder, it's going to droop in. It's just not going to be a good look. And then if it's too tight, of course, you're going to have trouble moving in it, which is also not good. And here are just a few examples of ill-fitted jackets. Lastly, I would like to move on to pants. Now, if you're shopping for suits, general rule of thumb, especially if you're buying off the rack, is there's going to be a 6-inch drop between your coat size and your waist size. So, for instance, myself, I'm a 42 regular. We've determined that already. If I go and pull a 42 regular off the rack, the pants that come with that jacket are already going to be sized at a 36 waist, which is indeed my waist size. Now, if you're like a really big, like bodybuilder type, you're really buff up here, but thinner in the waist, that's probably not going to be the case for you. Or let's say you're a portly gentleman, you have a smaller frame up here in the shoulders, but more of like a beer gut down here. You're probably also not going to fall within that 6-inch drop range. So I'm just going to take a moment to show you how to measure your waistline. So just kind of like we did with the neck, I'm going to start at the belly button here with the 0 end, and then we're going to come around. Now with pants, unlike the other measurements, I am going to allow about an inch to half-inch variance because you want your pants to fit comfortably. You don't want them to be too tight or look like they're cutting off your circulation. This is bad for a few reasons. It can create fat rolls. It can also distort the way the shirt looks as it's tucked in, which is just not a good look. It's also going to prevent your movement if you do a lot of movement, like up and down movement or anything like that. It's going to put a lot of stress on the waistline of the pant, which is also not good for the longevity of the garment. So I've got 36 here, which is indeed my size. Now, depending on the maker, sometimes I can be in like a 35, 36. But when I'm shopping suits, I'm automatically going to have that 36-inch waist. Now, some etiquette for the waistline. a proper suit pant or dress pant, even a khaki, you want to wear at the belly button or a good inch to 2 inches above. That is acceptable waistline for dress wear. Now, a more casual pant, you're probably going to wear lower, so you may have a different measurement on that. You are probably about an inch or two difference. So if you're wearing jeans or shorts or something, you may go down a couple inches from that measurement. But for proper office wear or any kind of formal wear, it's going to be at the belly button or a little higher. I myself prefer a vintage kind of traditional waistline, so I push it even further, like 4 to 6 inches above. I really like the waistline on my pants are actually right here at the moment, which is a considerable amount higher from my belly button. So that is just some fits on the now for waistline. The outseam of your pant, which is normally what you're going to measure to find the length of your pant. That's a little tricky to do with the regular tape measure because it's kind of flimsy, so I've put that up for now. One of my little tricks is using a constructor's tape measure because it's nice and stiff and you don't have to worry about it losing its shape. And it's got this neat little bit here at the end. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand on that to hold it in place. And I'm just going to place it right under my heel. And we are going to bring this guy up to my desired waistline, which is at the belly button. And then I'm going to lock this in place. Now you have got your inseam measurement. And you've got your outseam measurement. And we are at a between 41 and 42. Now, if you are buying off the rack, a lot of times your pant leg is going to be unfinished. So oftentimes they'll just go ahead and measure it for you, or they'll have the tailor come out and measure that for you. If you're confident in your sizing, then you can tell them I measure at a 42 outseam and avoid that. But I usually just let them mark it for me. Now, what's important about this measurement is to have the correct length on your pants. Now, whether you get plain bottoms on your pant or cuff, I usually like to do cuffs with pleated pants and flat plain bottoms with flat front pants. That's kind of the general rule of thumb. So that is something that is good to know. Now, if you're having someone else measure the pants for you, you want to make sure you have them correctly where you want them at the waistline, because that's going to influence the end result after they've been tailored. So let's say you plan on wearing your pants up here, but you wear them down here when you get them measured. You're going to end up with high waters. Your pants are going to come up above the ankle. That's not a good look. The general rule of thumb when standing, you do not want any sock showing. It's okay to show sock up to the ankle with an inch or two variance either direction while sitting. Acceptable breaks, which is where the pants falls at the bottom, is anywhere from the top of the heel of your shoe anywhere to the top of the shoe itself, and that's kind of personal preference, however you like it. I like a pretty aggressive break myself, so I usually do a full break or a medium break so I can get my pants to fall exactly where I want them to. And here are just a few examples of pants that are either too long or too short. Okay, so that has been Measurements with Bowtag 85. I hope you have found this video informative. As always, like and subscribe. Again, if you're not comfortable doing these measurements yourself, you can always go to a tailor shop or any kind of men's clothing store, even department stores that have a good suiting section. The staff are going to have the same tape measure that I use, and they will be more than happy to get you your sizes. Just walk in and say, hey, I'm not sure of my sizes, I'm interested in suits, shirts, whatever it is. You do not have to be a paying customer. A lot of people are shy about going in there. I feel like I have to buy something. They are there to help, and they're happy to help. Just go in, let them know what you're looking for, and they're more than happy to help you. So, again, like and subscribe. As always, this is Bottega85 signing off, and I look forward to seeing more correct fits in the future. Take care.